Blue Label Telecoms posted a 6% increase in full-year headline earnings per share. The company's joint chief executives, Brett and Mark Levy, have joined us to unpack the numbers, and we've split them, unfortunately. So we're going to fire hard and fire quick, huh? Maybe we can start with you, Mark. Electricity, no doubt always a feel-good story for you. Are you yet to experience challenges in that arena?
I think what's really come to the forefront is our technology ability to deliver on behalf of the municipalities. So for us, it's been the star performer. We're seeing no slowdown, and I think the no slowdown is as a result of us signing up more municipalities and increasing our distribution network. Currently, there's about 9 million meters deployed in South Africa. Government have intimated they will roll out another 9 million. So we're seeing the growth for electricity for a long time to come, plus the advent of additional other products like prepaid water and stuff like that. So that space is, in the municipality space, is still very exciting for us.
Mark, when we spoke 6 months ago, I said to you, when are you going to get past that listing price of yours? First day of listing, R8.60. Today, yes. R8.10. How many years has it taken you?
Well, Brett and myself, as the largest shareholders, we also wanted to rise. But it was 675, Alec, when we listed. So we are. You
listed at 675, but the first day of listing, you'd remember, you closed at R8.60.
We closed at R8.60.
So those poor guys who came in, the punters who bought the shares at R8.60, they're still holding on. They're saying, when are we going to get there?
So I think what we've tried to do, obviously, besides from a work point of view, is we brought our dividend forward. So we were meant to have started it 1 year later than we did, so we're on our 5th dividend. We have increased our dividend policy year on year, so we've increased the amount we've paid out, including this year where we've increased it again by 8% to 27 cents a share. So definitely from a dividend yield in share, definitely improved and given our shareholders a return. But yeah, I think you're right. We listed at R6.75, did go to R8.60, but I think we're doing all the right things, and in our mind, just sooner or later, we are going to have the kick that we think we deserve and where we're heading towards.
Well, Alan Gray seemed to agree. So it's interesting to see a tech stock being a value stock, a value investor, over 20% now held by Alan Gray. Are they tough shareholders to have?
No, I think they're very fair. When we sit down with them, they buy into the long-term strategy. So what they believe is the game plan we're implementing both locally and abroad. They're long-term strategic investors. I think we get more pressure from the guys, you mentioned the word, the punters, who in and out want results today. I think the long-term value investors are definitely seeing a lot more strategic value in our play.
I saw you being mentioned by Piet Viljoen as well, another deep value investor. So you're definitely pulling in the right kind of shareholder. Is that important to you?
Very much so. I think when we go on our roadshows and we actually sit down and speak to these investors, tell them what we're doing in the marketplaces, we're really getting a great reception from them. So for us, it's great to have an Alan Gray on board. It's great to have their support in it. And I think as long as we're delivering on our strategy, we'll find more support like that.
Well, maybe the support comes from what you're telling them, so maybe you can give us the inside info, Brett, as to what it is you're telling these deep value guys.
You're not allowed to tell them anything different to the rest of us.
No, that's correct. You know, for us, and I know we always sound bullish, but it's because the strategy and the vision of what we started with was to actually build a very strong distribution channel. We believe that the future of prepaid, not outside of telcos, just prepaid as a whole, would all rest one day in who controlled the distribution. So what we've done over the last 4 or 5 years is invest a lot of money into controlling and getting our distribution channel to a massive scale, and then to add on the products. So what we find very bullish is the vision and strategy we started with has just been growing and growing, and we can see it coming together. You know, to replicate the barrier for entry, to replicate the distribution that we've done, it's not an overnight thing. It's taken us years, and it doesn't matter how much money you come in with. If you want to have 100,000 points of presence, it's going to take you 10, 12 years. It doesn't matter how much money you throw at it, and then you're going to have a better price. So the barrier is just really difficult. So now that our distribution is coming to a point where we're reaching critical mass, yes, we continue to grow it, but critical mass where we literally touch in every part of every South African, now to add on new products, services, and the future for us really looks good.
Remember last time again that you were here, you spoke about Cell C, and you had a bigger share of Cell C. We've had our problems with Cell C. Seems like I've had my problems. I'm no more Cell C, now I'm with MTN, because the network just seemed to be dropping all the time. Are you finding that since Alan Not Craig left the fire, that things are changing there?
Not at all, actually. The new CEO has come in, Jose dos Santos, is, in our opinion, really good. He's a street fighter, if I can call it that. He really knows how to take the battle to the other networks. So definitely no slowdown. On the network side, I know you've had your own experience, but in our experience, it's a lot of perception more than reality. You know, they do have a big coverage. They are growing it out quickly. I guess maybe in certain areas a little bit less, but the amount of, I guess, perception is much worse than the reality of it.
Yeah, but the perception is reality if your phone calls don't come through. If your phone never rings and you just see missed call. Anyway, that's prepaid is where you are. Have you got a bigger share still, Mark?
In terms of Cell C?
Of Cell C than the other two?
Look, if you see our latest results, you'll see that Cell C definitely grew in our base. I think the one that took the most flack, I would say, is MTN. Vodacom remained pretty consistent. Telkom grew a little bit, but Cell C has definitely made inroads, and they seem to be the consumer champion, you know, and for us, we're happy to drive those products into our bases.
The pick and pay of cell phones.
Consumer champion, huh? Well, unfortunately, that's where we have to leave it for today. We are slightly under pressure regarding time, but that was the Joint Chief Executive of Blue Label Telecoms, Mark and Brett Levi.